Lux presents Calaveras High School Advanced Drama. Greetings from Calaveras County, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we bring you one of the most inspiring hits, a beloved holiday classic for audiences both young and old. Yes, tonight we are proud to present It's a Wonderful Life. We bring it to you in hopes of adding a little warmth and holiday cheer to your home on this cold December night. And now, let us introduce to you our phenomenal cast and crew. It's a Wonderful Life is the drama of a typical American. It may be you. It might be me. It tells the story of an American everyman, George Bailey. He dreams of glory. He lives in hope. He loves and doubts. And only Providence puts a final value on his services to humanity. Sit back, relax, and enjoy It's a Wonderful Life. Miss Alapoda, take it away.
This is the story of George Bailey, citizen of Bedford Falls, New York. George Bailey, who more than anything under the sun wanted to see the world, the wonderful, exciting world that lay somewhere beyond the limits of his hometown. Enough, this story does not begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in the world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels has just summoned an apprentice angel named Clarence.
I'm really going down to Earth, ma'am? Oh, how splendid!
Yes, there's a very discouraged man down there, Clarence. George Bailey, at exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time. He'll be thinking seriously of ending his life.
Oh, dear, his life?
Now, I want you to stop him if you can.
Ma'am, if I should accomplish my mission, may I perhaps get my wings? I've been waiting for over 200 years now, and well, people are beginning to talk.
Clarence, what's that book?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, ma'am. I was reading it when you sent for me.
Oh, fine book. Excellent. Well, you do a good job on George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Now listen, when George Bailey was a boy, two events occurred that you should keep in mind. One was when his younger brother Harry fell through the ice and almost drowned. George saved him.
Brother fell through ice. George saved him.
Ever since, George has had a bad ear. All that icy water, you understand?
Bad ear. Yes, ma'am.
The other event came a few months later. George used to work after school in Mr. Gower's drugstore. One day, Mr. Gower's only son died of influenza. It was a terrible blow, and poor Mr. Gower tried to lose his grief in whiskey.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Georgie.
Hi, George.
Hello, Violet, Mary. So kids, what'll it be? 2 cents worth of shoelaces?
She was here first.
I'm still thinking.
Take your time. How about it, Violet? Licorice shoelaces?
Please, Georgie. I like him.
You like every boy.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Here you are. Well, Mary, made up your mind yet?
I'll take chocolate.
Admit it, you're sweet on George Bailey too.
A lady never tells.
You're not a lady, you're just a kid.
Anything else, girls? 2 bits each then.
Thanks, and so long, Georgie.
Thank you. Goodbye, George.
Kids these days.
George!
Yes, sir?
What you doing, George? Miss Blaine's called twice. What happened to her prescription? You lost it, didn't ya?
No, Mr. Gower, here it is.
You good for nothing. Don't you know the Blaine's girl's very sick?
Mr. Gower, my ear! You're hurting my sore ear.
I'll teach you to look, you lazy brat.
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you feel bad, but look, Mr. Gower, look. This bottle, you use this bottle to make up the capsules. It's poison. Please don't hurt my sore ear again, Mr. Gower.
Poison? George.
It's why I didn't deliver, Mr. Gower. All I wanted to do was make sure.
George. George.
Well, Clarence, that was George Bailey as a boy. When he grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. George's father was in the building and loan business. He and George's Uncle Billy, high ideals and low bank accounts. Anyway, George worked for his father and saved enough to see him through the university. That summer, though, he was going to go to Europe, get a job on a cattle boat, do a little traveling before college.
Oh boy, oh boy. It's hard to realize it's my last night at the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. Hey, what's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh, I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up.
So did I.
I can't understand a man like Mr. Potter. He can't begin to spend all the money he has.
I guess Potter owns everything he wants in Bedford Falls, except our building and loan. That's why he hates us.
Hey, George. Can I borrow your tuxedo studs?
Yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they?
No, I'm not taking my tuxedo in a cattle boat, you know.
Say, where'd you get the suitcase anyways?
Oh, Mr. Gower, going away present. One of these days, you're gonna see this bag all covered with travel labels. Italy and Baghdad and Samarkand.
Gonna have a pretty full summer, huh?
I'm gonna have a pretty full life.
Hey, why don't you come to the dance tonight?
What? And be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I gotta go.
I wish we could send Harry to college with you.
Well, we've got that all figured out now, Pop. He'll take my job at the building and loan, work 4 years like I did, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
Maybe you were born older.
Huh?
George, when you get out of college, I don't suppose you'd come back to the building and loan.
Oh, no. Now, Pop, I just couldn't. I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office. Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that. But it's this business of nickels and dimes. I'd go crazy. I want to do something big, something important.
Small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people figure out how they own their own homes.
I know. I know, Pop. I wish I felt that but I just feel like if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
Right, boy. You get yourself an education, then you get out of here.
Oh, Pop. Pop, do you want a shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thanks, George. I'm glad to hear it. Look, why don't you go over to Harry's dance? You'll have a good time.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will drop in. Maybe I will at that.
To a dance. Now, wait a minute. Is that really important?
Why, it was the dance that he met Mary Hatch.
Oh. Mary who now?
Mary Hatch, the little girl with the chocolates from the soda shop. Mary Hatch, who would turn out to be the love of his life. He met Mary at that social, and they danced the night away, even fell into a swimming pool at one point. But that's another story. And 3 hours later, he was walking her home. George and Mary were feeling pretty good, Clarence. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo girls, can't you come out tonight and dance
By
by
the
the
light
light
of the
of the moon?
moon.
Hot dog.
Beautiful,
Boy, just like an organ.
at least.
You know something? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. How old are you anyways?
18.
18?
Too young or too old?
Oh no. Just right. Sort of fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah. I gotta throw a rock.
Oh no, don't. I love that old house.
Don't you know about deserted houses? You make a wish and then you throw a rock.
George, but it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
In there? I wouldn't live in it as a ghost. Now watch. Watch this. Here we go. How about it, huh? Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window, huh?
What'd you wish, George?
Oh, I don't know. Not just one wish. A whole hatful. Mary, I'm shaking the dust of this crummy town off my feet, and I'm gonna go see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'm gonna come back here, and I'm gonna go to college and see what they know. And then I'm going to build things. I'm gonna build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high and build and bridges a mile long. And then I'm gonna, hey, Mary, what is it you want? What do you want, huh? You want the moon? All you gotta do, just say the word and I'll lasso it for you.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Then well, then you could swallow it and it dissolve like aspirin, you know? And the moonbeams shoot out your fingers and out the ends of your hair. And the, you think I'm talking too much?
Yes, why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
How's that?
Ah, youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, just a minute, mister. Hey, you come back here and I'll show you some kissing that old...
George!
Hey, Uncle Billy, look here, I'm gonna kiss Mary. Watch.
George Bailey!
George, get in the car, quick! Your father's had a stroke!
What?
George, hurry!
George's father died that night, Clarence, so of course George couldn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor to Mr. Bailey.
Successor to our dear friend, Mr. Bailey. What was that you said, Mr. Potter?
I said, as long as Mr. Bailey's dead, let's dissolve the building loan. We don't need it.
Now, wait a minute.
No, you wait a minute. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. Ideas without common sense can ruin a town. What do we get? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class.
Now hold on, Mr. Potter.
I meant no disrespect, George, but...
Now wait a minute there. Why my father ever started this cheap penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling. That's what you're talking about. Well, this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can borrow dollars without crawling to you. Now, come on, Uncle Billy.
What happened, George?
Yeah, all I heard was a lot of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George.
Yeah, they're in there voting us out of business.
Who cares? I can get another job. I'm only 41.
45.
Will you get out of here, George? You missed your boat trip. You want to miss college too?
George, we just voted Potter down. We're still in business.
We're still in business. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? But I'm going to college. Look, this is my last chance. Uncle Billy, he's your man.
George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so.
I know George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to Harry. Harry went instead.
Yes, but what about that good-looking girl? You know, Mary?
Oh, George saw her now and then. Not very often, though, because Mary went away to school, too. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan. He could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields, Venezuela. Except when Harry came home, he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him, his wife.
George?
Yeah, I'm out here on the porch, Mother. Just thought I'd get some air.
Well, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Ruth? Oh, she's swell.
Oh, it looks like she can keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyways.
What do you mean?
Well, Ruth's father, he's got a wonderful job for Harry up in Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Well, that means that you can't.
Yeah.
Well, George, did you know that Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary. Oh, stop grunting.
Oh, now, Mother.
Now give me one good reason why you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright, Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, now how could you know that? Did she discuss it with you? How do you
Well, I have eyes, haven't I? Why, she lights up like a firefly whenever you're around. Besides, Sam's away in New York.
And all's fair in love and war? Oh, all right, I see. Okay, Mother. I think I'll go down and find that girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George!
Goodbye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books from the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary Hatch, you hear?
George, is that you out there?
Oh, hello, Mary.
Well, are you coming in?
I just happened to be passing by.
Oh, I thought you were picketing. Have you made up your mind?
How's that?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
About coming in. Your mother just phoned. She said you were coming over.
My mother I just happened to be passing by, that's all.
Well,
all right. I'll come in for a minute. I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here. A fella can't even go for a walk without... When did you get back?
Tuesday?
Where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
All right.
Well, no point standing out here on the porch. Come on in.
I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude. I'll sit down for a while.
It's nice about your brother and Ruth, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about,
No, no, marriage is all right for a lot of people. It's all right for Harry, Sam Wainwright, and you.
For Sam?
Mary!
It's George Bailey, Mother.
What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Me? Not a thing, not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making outrageous advances to me, Mother.
You just told him to go right back home. Sam said he'd come call you tonight from New York, didn't he?
I guess so. How about some music?
You know, your mother needn't... I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for?
I don't know. You're supposed to be the one with all the answers. You tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
I don't know why I came here in the first place. Good night.
Good night.
Mary! Mary! The telephone, Mary!
The way you're shouting, you'd think that...
You think what?
Mary!
All right, I'll get it. George, on your way out, would you please mind shutting off the phonograph?
I'd be very happy to. Doggone crazy song.
Hello? Sam?
Hee-haw, Mary G. It's good to hear your voice.
How are you, Sam?
I forgot my hat.
Say, who's that?
I was just talking to an old friend of yours, George Bailey.
Old Mossback George?
Old Mossback George.
Well, put him on. I want to talk to him too.
Wait a second. George?
He doesn't want to speak to George.
He does so. He asked for him.
Did you call for me? Because if you did, I'm in a hurry.
Sam wants to talk to you.
Oh, hiya, Sam.
Hey, I find how you are. Try and steal my girl.
What do you mean? Nobody's trying to steal anybody's girl. Here, Mary, take the phone.
No, wait, George. I want to speak to both of you. Tell Mary to get the extension from upstairs.
You says to get an extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear. Just put your head a little closer. There. That's better. We're listening, Sam.
Well, I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, remember the time you told me you're making plastics out of soybeans?
Soybeans? Oh, yeah. Yeah, soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father checked into it, see, and he's going to put up a factory now. How do you like that?
Factory, huh?
And here's the point, George. I may have a job for you, unless you're still married to that old broken down building and loan. Mary?
I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
You give me that phone.
Here's George again, Sam. George!
Now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics and I don't want a job and I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do and you're not going to trick me. And you're... Mary. Oh, Mary. Oh, Mary. Darling, I love you.
Yes, George and Mary were married, and they started off their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxi cab.
Hey, where are you two going on this year now honeymoon?
We're going to shoot the works, Ernie. A whole week in New York. A whole week in Bermuda. The highest hotels. The coldest champagne. The hottest music. And the prettiest wife.
So you're finally getting out of Bedford Falls, eh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That does it. Hey, you know what, Mrs. Bailey? I haven't kissed you yet.
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look, over at the bank. It looks like a run.
Pull over there a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop. Please, let's go straight to the station.
Now wait a minute. I better see what it is. I'll be right back.
George, please, George!
In a few moments, we will return with the second act of It's a Wonderful Life, starring Zachary Zlonizer, Emma Darmstead, Stella Garrett, and our wonderful company. Meanwhile, we like to treat you with some of the sounds of the seasons from one of our resident songbirds, Miss Grace Daniel. And now, take it away.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some cool coffee. Fights away down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Fire is slowly dying, my dear, we're still goodbye. As long as you love me so.
doesn't care if it's thin below. He's sitting by the fire's cozy glow. He don't care about the cold and the winds that blow. He just says, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Let it snow.
Ooh-wee goes the storm. Why should he worry when he's nice and warm? His gal by his side and the lights turn low. He just says, let it snow, let it snow.
Weather outside is frightful, but that fire seems delightful. Since there's no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought lots of corn for coffee. The lights are way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally say goodnight, well, hey, rolling out the door. But if you'll only hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. Fire is slowly dying,
and my dear, we're still goodbye.
As long as you love me so, snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Isn't she lovely, folks? Again, we'd like to thank our program sponsor, Calaveras Arts Council. It's due to their generosity that we are able to bring quality programs like this from our homes to yours. And now, Act 2 of It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, we're back in heaven again, where the superintendent of angels is reviewing the case history of a mortal named George Bailey. Clarence, the apprentice angel, is very eager to depart on their mission to the earth.
Poor George Bailey. Oh, he's certainly in desperate trouble, ma'am. I'll go to him at once.
Now you sit down, Clarence, sit down. We're nowhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life.
We're not?
Now where were we? Oh, yes. George and Mary had just started out on their honeymoon when they ran smack into the financial panic of 1932. In the waiting room of the building and loan, 100 frantic people were clamoring for their savings.
What's going on, Uncle Billy? What's happened? All those people out there.
This is a pickle, George. All I know is the bank called our loan an hour ago. I had to hand over all our cash.
Holy mackerel.
Whole town's gone crazy. The bank's in the same spot we are.
Our charter, too.
What about our charter?
Our charter says we have to stay open until 6 p.m. The state can take away our license if we don't.
How can we stay open till 6 without any money? George, where are you going?
Outstruck the people, come on.
Where's our money, George? Where's our money? Come on, pay up.
Now listen, folks, just a minute, please.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
Wait a minute now. Listen to me. Now, you're thinking of this place all wrong. Your money's not here.
What?
What?
What do you mean it's not
Where's the
here?
money?
What do you
Where
mean?
is it?
Your money's in people's houses. In the Kennedy house, and the McLaren house, and your house, and 100 others. Now, what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
I got $240 in shares. Now let me have it.
All right, Charlie. You'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
60 days?
60 days. I need it now.
Now look, that's what you agreed on when you bought your shares.
Not my money. Old man Potter's taken over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
50 cents on the
Let's take our share to
Every
Potter.
dollar?
Cents on the dollar?
Let's take our shares to Potter. Half is better than nothing.
Wait a minute, please, folks. I beg you not to do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning this building and loan. He's got the bank. He's got the bus line. He's got the department stores. And now he's after us because he wants to keep us living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now, we can get through this thing all right, but we've got to stick together. We have to have faith in one another.
My husband's out of work. We need money.
I got doctor bills to pay.
I can't feed my kids on faith.
Me too,
Yeah.
George.
Yeah, where's our money,
What are we
George?
supposed to do?
We can't do this.
I need to feed them.
How much do you need? We've still got some money.
Hey, Mary.
Here it is, George. You told me to hold on to it. Would have made a nice honeymoon. Bought furniture, too.
Wait a minute, folks. Listen, I got $2,000, all right? Tom, how much do you need?
$240.
No, Tom, just enough to tide you over.
I said $240.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Tom $240. All right. Ed, how much to get by?
$20, I suppose.
Now you're talking. Mrs. Thompson, how about you?
But it's your own money, George.
Never mind about that. How much do you want?
$20 will do me, and I'll sign a paper.
You don't have to sign anything. I know you'll pay it back when you can. It's okay. All right, Mrs. Davis?
Could I have $17.50?
Bless your heart. Of course you can have it. Uncle Billy, you got 50 cents? There you go. All right, who's next?
Look at the clock. Look.
5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock, we made it. Lock the door, quick. Boy, we're still in business, Uncle Billy. We even got $2 left.
George, there's a call for you.
Okay, and then call my wife, will you? She's probably over at Mother's.
Mrs. Bailey's on the line?
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Mrs. Bailey. That's my wife. Give me the phone, will you? Hey, Mary? Listen, I'm sorry. Come home? What home? 323 Sycamore? Well, whose home is it? Well, Mary, how can I? Sure, I'll be there.
Clarence, guess what 323 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house.
Oh no, number 323 Sycamore was the old Granville house, the one George threw rocks at and made wishes. Yes, that's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started housekeeping. They were still living there 2 years later when Old Man Potter asked George to stop over at his office.
Sit down, George. Here, have a cigar.
Thank you, sir.
Now, George, you're a young man. Married, making, say, $40 a week at the building alone?
45.
45. Now, if you were an ordinary yokel, I'd say you're doing fine. But George Bailey is intelligent, ambitious. He hates the building alone almost as much as I do. He's been dying out town ever since he was born. He's trapped into frittering his life away by playing nursemaid to a lot of idiots. Do I paint a correct picture, or do I exaggerate?
Well, what's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is you're the only man in town who's beat me. George, I want to hire you, manage my affairs. I saw you off at $20,000.
$20,000 a year? Are you talking to me? I'm George Bailey. Don't you remember me? The building and loan, remember?
Yes, George Bailey, who's just come in, providing he has enough brains to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building and loan?
Confound it, man! I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal? Or isn't it?
No. The answer is no. Doggone it. If you offered me $1 million to stay around this town and play stooge to you, the answer'd still be no. Now leave me alone and don't bother me.
George, what did Mr. Potter want?
Oh, it was nothing. He just wanted to talk. Oh, gee, Mary Hatch, why in the world did you marry a guy like me anyways?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was going to see the world. I was going to build things. I was going to give you the moon. What have I given you? What have I given you? Not even a new dress. Not for months. Gee whiz, I feel awful.
So do I, mornings especially.
You could have married Sam Wainwright or anybody else in this town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon, and I promised you that... You're what?
My baby.
You mean Mary? You mean you're on the nest?
George Bailey lassos stork.
Lasso's a stork? What do you mean you're, what is it, a boy or a girl?
Yes!
Well, Mary had her baby Clarence, a boy.
You don't say!
Then she had another, a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down on him. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then.
Oh!
But she still had time to help out in the USO. Uncle Billy sold war bonds, and George's brother Harry became a real hero, shot down 15 planes.
But George, what about George?
George was 4F on account of his ear. He was an air raid warden on VE Day. He wept and prayed. On VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, ma'am?
Yes, Clarence. You now know almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down there at this very moment, wanting to die.
Well, ma'am? Well?
Today's the day before Christmas, or Earth time. George is pretty excited.
Look at the newspaper. Commander Harry Bailey, decorated by the president. That's my kid brother, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, gosh.
What do you think about that? 15 enemy planes, and the last one he got was just about to dive into a transport loaded with soldiers. You know what that means? He saved lives. Hundreds of lives. Gee whiz. Hey, where's Uncle Billy?
Going to the bank, George. He's depositing that $8,000.
Good, good. Who's that in his office?
It's that man again, the bank examiner. Oh, and Miss Violet Bick is in your office. She'd like a word if you have the time.
Of course I have the time. Hello, Violet. You know, that's my kid brother's picture there, Violet. He shot down 15 planes, and one of them...
Oh, I know. The whole town is talking about it. It's just wonderful. A real life hero from little old Bedford Falls.
Don't I know it? Now, what can I do for you today, Miss Bick?
Well, George, it's just as you said. I'm leaving for New York City tonight, and...
New York City. Why, Violet, you'll be terrific. They'll rename Fifth Avenue after you. I admire your courage. It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Please, let me help you get started.
No, George, I don't need your pity.
Here now, you're broke, aren't you?
I know, but...
What do you want to do? Hawk your furs and that hat? Want to walk to New York? You know, they charge for meals and rent up there the same as they do in Bedford Falls.
Well, if you're sure, there'll be terrible talk.
Talk? Fiddlesticks. Let them all talk. Let them say I'm helping one of my oldest friends launch her new life. I'll punch anyone who says a word against you right in the kisser. That is, if Mary doesn't do it first.
You're sure? You don't mind?
It's a loan. That's my business, building and loan. Besides, you'll get a job in one of those ritzy salons in no time. Good luck to you.
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
Now, let's see. Where was I? Oh, Godzook, Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter, let's take a look at those books. Did you see the paper today? There's my kid brother, Harry, front page. You know, he shot down 15 planes.
How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? You just can't keep those Bailey boys down, now can you?
Let me see that newspaper.
Here. Sorry I can't chat, you old thief. Gotta make a deposit. Here you are, Miss Horace. Deposit slip, bank book, and a Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey. Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
Horace, I've forgotten things all my life.
Get your wheel on, boy.
But, Mr. Bailey, where's the money?
What's that?
You want to make a deposit.
Well, certainly I want to.
Well, it's customary for you to bring the money with you.
It's gone? Where'd I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clarence. Terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper that he gave to Old Man Potter.
I just don't know what happened to it, George. I just don't know.
$8,000, Uncle Billy? The bank examiner's here, and it's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
George, what are we gonna do? We've traced every step I took. We can't just stand here in the street.
Are you sure you didn't put the envelope in your pocket?
I think so. Maybe. Oh, I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Now listen to me. Think. Think, will you? Now try and think.
I can't think anymore, George. I can't think. It hurts.
Where's that money? You silly old fool. You know what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me. Now get out of my way. I'm going home.
George, dear, what's wrong? You haven't said a word since you came home.
That banging on the piano, does she have to keep playing the same song over and over and over again?
I have to practice for the Christmas party, Dad.
What is it, dear? Another hectic day?
Yeah, another red letter day for the Baileys.
Dad, the Murphys got a brand new car. You should see it.
What's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
I'm sorry, Dad. I only...
Run upstairs, Petey, and see if Zuzu's all right.
Okay, Mom.
Now, what do you mean, see if Zuzu's all right? What do you mean?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. She didn't button up her coat.
Well, what is it? What do you mean, just a cold?
George, the doctor says it was nothing serious.
The doctor? Was there a doctor here?
Well, I thought he'd better take a look at her.
It's this drafty old house. It's no wonder we don't have pneumonia. Might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live in here in the first place and stay around in this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's happened?
Everything's happened. You call us a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know how you spell it. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Upstairs to see Zuzu.
Hello? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. I'm sure she'll be all right.
Who's that?
It's Zuzu's school teacher. What? Oh, yes, the doctor says she'll be fine tomorrow.
Here, give me that phone.
George, please.
Mrs. Welch? This is Mr. Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyways? What do you mean sending Zuzu home like that, half naked? Do you realize she's probably going to end up with pneumonia because of your stupidity? You know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed kids in town, but at least... Hello? Janie, will you stop playing that lousy piano? Now cut it out. Stop it.
George, for heaven's sake, what is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. Mary, Janie, I'm sorry. I just got to get out of here.
So that's it, George. You're short $8,000 on your account, eh?
Please, Mr. Potter, I'll pay any sort of bonus if you still want the building and loan.
You said it was lost, right? Have you notified the police?
No, sir. I haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming tomorrow.
Why come to me? One of your good friend, Sam Wainwright.
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have, George? What collateral?
Yes, sir. I have some life insurance here, a $15,000 policy.
What's your equity in it?
$500.
And you want 8,000? You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man crawling on your hands and knees for help? Why don't you go to the riffraff if you love so well? Ask them for help.
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter, please. Please help me. My wife and kids.
I'm calling the district attorney. I have $100. You know what, something, George? You're worth more dead than you are alive. Now get out of here. Get out!
And all that time, Potter had the $8,000 in his desk drawer. It's still there, Clarence.
But where is George, ma'am? Where?
Well, he went over to Martini's Cafe. He's had a couple drinks, Clarence. He's just standing there, sort of in a daze.
God, dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God.
Mr. Bailey, you all right? Don't drink anymore, Mr. Bailey, please. You don't feel good.
Bailey? You say Bailey? Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey, George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get it worse. Isn't it enough? She's slaves teaching your kids how to read and write. You gotta go and bowl her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Welch. You hit my best friend. Get out.
All right, I'm going.
You okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Welch. But don't worry. You don't come in this place no more. I get something for your face. It's bleeding.
No, I'm all right.
Please don't go, Mr. Bailey.
Please, just leave me alone.
Oh, no. Please don't go this way, Mr. Bailey.
Leave me alone!
George left Martini's Cafe 5 minutes ago, Clarence. He's at the river now, on the bridge, looking at the water. Are you ready, Clarence?
All ready, ma'am.
Very well. Save George Bailey's life, and you'll get your wings.
My wings? Oh, thank you. Thank you. George Bailey, get away from that bridge. Do you hear me? George!
In just a moment, we'll bring you Act 3 of It's a Wonderful Life, starring the Calaveras High School Advanced Drama Ensemble. But first, let's welcome back another one of our resident songbirds, Miss Abby Warnick, for one of the songs of the season. Miss Abby Warnick, take it away.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy
Thank you, Miss Abby Warnick. And thank you once again to our producing sponsor, Calaveras Arts Council. We hope you will give this fine local establishment your business, especially in this time where all of our small businesses need your patronage and support. Many thanks to you all. Now, back to our narrator, Miss Amaya Halapoda.
We return to our program with Act 3 of It's a Wonderful Life, starring Calaveras High School Advanced Drama Ensemble. Numb with despair, convinced as Mr. Potter said that he's worth more dead than alive, George Bailey stands on a bridge, staring at the dark and frigid waters below. Suddenly there's a splash.
Help! Help! I'm drowning! Help!
No, that's not George. It's Clarence, the apprentice angel. And there goes George in after them. It's a few minutes later now, and in the bridgekeeper's shack, George and Clarence are drying off.
You both sure you're all right? Want a doctor?
No, I'm all right.
Oh, I'm fine. These long johns. I didn't have time to change out of anything more into anything more stylish. My sister gave me these for my last birthday. I passed away in them.
You what?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry I brought Tom Sawyer with me.
How'd you happen to fall in?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
Jumped to save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide.
Hey, it's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
Oh, that's very funny. Very funny.
Your lip's bleeding.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
How'd you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you.
Who are you supposed to be, anyways?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody AS2. What's the AS2 for?
Angel, second class.
Hey, I'm getting out of here. You may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel, George.
Oh, I see, uh-huh. Well, you look about the kind of angel I'd get. What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them by letting me help you.
Oh, uh-huh. You don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
Oh, no. We don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right, yeah. I keep forgetting. Comes in handy down here, bud.
Oh.
Of course, I found it out a little late. You know, I'm worth more dead than alive.
You mustn't talk like that. I'll never get my wings if you keep feeling that way. You just don't realize what you've done for your folks. Why, if it hadn't been for you...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be better off. My wife and my kids and my friends.
Oh, this isn't going to be easy.
They'd all be better off if I had never been born.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful? What?
The idea you just gave me. You got your wish. You've never been born.
I've never been born?
Exactly. No worries, no $8,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
All right. Okay, all right.
George, I can do things, strange things. I can show you the world, George, the way it would have been if you hadn't been born.
Wait a minute. This ear of mine. Say something else in this bad ear?
You don't have a bad ear anymore. Oh, I don't think you're concentrating. Don't you see? You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're nobody.
Well, that's the doggonest thing. That ear.
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
Yeah, say, what's happening around here? What is this anyways? I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? You want a drink?
Well, I don't quite know.
Come on. We'll go as soon as our clothes are dry.
Our clothes are dry, George.
Hey, so they are. That's funny. Well, look, let's get dressed and we'll stroll over to Martini's and then, oh, excuse me. I meant I'll stroll and you fly.
No, I don't have my wings.
You don't have your wings yet. That's right. I forgot that again. Couple of drinks and we'll both fly.
fellas.
Hey, where's your boss? Where's Martini?
Look, wise guy, I'm the boss. See?
Okay, well, double scotch, quick, will you?
What's yours?
I would just love some mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon, light on the cloves. Off with you, and lively now.
Now cut it out.
Oh, come on, dear. Just give them the same as my order. They're okay.
2 double scotches.
What about this place? It's all changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. Oh, there'll be lots of things you've never seen before. Oh, good! Somebody's just made it!
Made what?
Every time a bell rings, and it means some angels got their wings.
What'd you say?
Oh, look, Clarence, I don't think you'd better talk about angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Oh, yeah, they believe in them, but, you know, it's just,
Then why should they be surprised when they see one?
don't mind him, bartender. They're just a little fellow that never grew up. How old are you anyways, Clarence?
Well, next May it'll be 293.
That does it. A couple of nincompoops, eh? Go, get. You hear me? Get.
Look, where's Martini? Will you call him?
Stop asking about Martini. He ain't here. Hey, you, Rummy. Didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here?
George, look!
Hey, it's Mr. Gower. Mr. Gower, listen, Mr. Gower, don't you know me? This is George Bailey.
Hey, you buy me a drink, mister. Just one drink, will you, mister?
Pinky, throw the rummy out.
No, please.
Hey, bartender, that's Mr. Gower, the druggist.
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Pinky, here's some more. Get him out of here.
Get up, George. It's a good thing he threw us in the snow, eh?
Where's Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, you weren't there to stop him from putting poison into that prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? Look, tell me, what are you, a hypnotist?
George.
Well, why am I seeing all these strange things?
Don't you understand? It's because you weren't born.
Then if I wasn't born, who am I?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean, no identity?
No papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's bell.
What?
Zuzu's bell. I bought my little girl a bell to hang on the Christmas tree, and I forgot to give it to her. And I got it. Wait, it's gone. It's gone too. Everything is gone.
But you've been given a great gift, George. A chance to see what the world would be like if you had never been born.
You're crazy. You're crazy as a bedbug, and you're driving me crazy too. Now look, I'm going home to my wife and family. Do you understand that? And I'm going home alone.
Better not leave him alone, Clarence. Keep following him.
Oh, I'll stay near him, ma'am. Poor George. He's seeing Main Street now, the way it would have been if he hadn't lived. That thing that's really shocked him, ma'am, is the building and loan office. Know what's there now? A pawn shop.
What's he doing? Can you see?
He's talking to Ernie Bishop, the taxi driver. He wants to go home.
You'd better tag along, Clarence.
Oh, I will, ma'am. I will.
Come on, step on it, Ernie. Well, get me home. I'm off my nut.
Where do you live, bud?
Doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff on me. 323 Sycamore.
323 Sycamore?
Yeah, hurry up. Zuzu's sick.
Okay, bud.
Hey, look, Ernie. I don't know what's happening. I'm going crazy or something. I've got some bad liquor. Now look. Tell me this now. You're Ernie Bishop, right? and you live with your husband and kid down in...
You seen my husband?
Seen your husband? I've been to your house 100 times. We built it for you, didn't we?
Look, bud, my husband took the kid and left me 5 years ago. I've never seen you before in my life.
Okay, Ernie, okay. Just step on it. Get me home. Mary? Mary, where are you? Janie, Petey, Zuzu. Zuzu, where are you?
This is just an old abandoned house, George. You have no wife, no children.
Where are they? What have you done with them?
There you are. Bert, crazy, just like I told you.
All right, up with your hands.
Oh, Bert. Bert the cop, thank heaven you're here.
Now look, why don't you be a good fella, and I'll take you to a doctor.
Bert, now, Bert, listen to me. What's the matter with you guys? Now listen, it's that fellow there. He says he's an angel. He tried to hypnotize me.
I hate to use my nightstick, but I guess I...
Run, George, run! He can't hit you while I'm biting him. George, run! My teeth aren't what they used to be.
Where'd they go, Ernie? Where'd they go?
I don't know. They just disappeared.
Clarence?
Oh, ma'am, I hope you don't mind me calling on you like I did.
It was very irregular, Clarence. You're by yourself again. Where's George?
He's at his mother's house, ma'am.
Well, if George hasn't been born, he has no mother.
Oh, he's being very stubborn. He'll just have to find these things out for himself.
But his mother, that's a terrible bitter blow to a man. His own mother not knowing him?
You mean I shouldn't have let him?
I mean, you'd better find him right away. Oh, and stop biting policemen, Clarence.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even know me. If only Harry were here. If my brother were only back from Washington.
Your brother fell through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved lives. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. Don't you see, George? You really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it away?
Clarence.
Yes?
Where's Mary? Please, where's my wife?
I'm not supposed to tell.
Tell me where she is.
You're not going to like it, George.
Where is she? I'll choke it out of you if I have to. Where is my wife?
The library. She works there. She's just about to lock up for the night. So, George! George, come back! Oh, there must be an easier way for me to get my wings.
Mary! Mary!
I'm sorry, the library's closed.
Mary, it's George. Don't you know me?
No, I don't know you. Let me go.
Mary, please, don't do this to me. Please, Mary, help me. Where's our kids? I need you, Mary. Help me, Mary.
Get away from me. Help! Help!
Help me. Mary! Mary, I'm George.
Clarence?
Oh, where is he? Where's George? I'm afraid I've lost him, ma'am.
You knew you shouldn't have let him try to see Mary. Now they're after him? A mob? They think he was trying to hurt her.
I won't even get one wing, will I?
You have one more chance, Clarence. Get over to the bridge by the river. I think George has seen just about enough.
But the mob!
Don't worry, they've lost him too. Now hurry up.
Oh, thanks, ma'am. Thank you.
Clarence, where are you?
I'm here, George.
Help me, Clarence. Please, get me back. I don't care what happens to me. Only get me back to my wife and kids. Please, I want to live again.
Oh, thank you, George. Thank you,
I want to
Lord.
live again, please. Oh, God, please let me live again.
George, is that you down there? George!
Now get out of there. Get out of here, Bert. Get out of here. You get any closer and I'll let you have it.
What the Sam Hill you yelling for, George?
Come on. George? George? Bert, do you know me?
Know you. I've been looking all over town for you. Where you been?
Bert. Bert, I'm alive again. Bert!
You sure you're all right? Hey, your mouth's bleeding.
Is it? Hey, my mouth's bleeding. Bert, look at the blood coming out of there, would you? Zuzu's Christmas bell. Bert, I had it in my pocket. Here it is. Oh, it was here in my pocket. What do you know about that? Hey, Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the car. I'll drive you home.
You will, Bert? Well, do that and turn the sirens wide open, huh? Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, all building and loan. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee! Come on. Hey, Bert. Come on in with me, huh? What's with all these reporters? Oh, look at this wonderful old drafty house. Isn't it one? Have you seen my wife?
Merry
Where's
Christmas,
Mary?
Dad.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Kids. Hey, kids. Pete, Jamie. Oh, I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy. Dad!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap. How do you feel?
Fine, Dad. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge of temp. Hallelujah.
George, darling.
It's Mom. Mommy's home.
Mary, Mary.
George, darling, where have you been? Oh, George.
Mary, just let me touch you. Oh, you're real. Oh, you have no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. They're on their way here.
Who? Who's on their way here? Oh, the police department? The FBI? The National Guard? Oh, I'm alive again, Mary. Oh, listen, Mary, I'm alive again.
Oh, yes, darling. Yes. Now, close your eyes and come on downstairs.
What is this? Can I open my eyes yet, Mary? What's going on?
Now, just keep your eyes closed. I'll just walk you over here by the Christmas tree.
There's people. I hear lots of people. What is it?
Just 1 minute now. We're all ready, Uncle Billy. Come on in, everybody.
Ah, hey.
George, look. Just look.
Uncle Billy?
Money, George. A laundry basket filled with money. Money for you. Mary did it, George. Mary.
I don't understand. What money?
People heard you were in trouble, darling. These people, your friends, they've collected this money for you. The $8,000.
Are they? Wait, there's Martini. And Mr. Gower. Hey, how are you, Mr. Gower? Mrs. Thompson, Ed, Tom, everybody.
None of us would have a roof over our heads if it wasn't for you.
You said it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Finally big.
I'm not going to go, George. I changed my mind. Merry Christmas.
Gosh, this is wonderful. Hey, Mary, look. Look who's coming in. Mother, hi, Mother, and Harry.
Got Mary's telegram. I flew in as fast as I could.
Just a minute. Quiet. Everybody quiet. Now, this is from London. Mr. Gower cables, you need cash. Stop. My office instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright. Hey, everybody, a toast. How about a toast?
Good idea, Ernie. A toast to my big brother, the richest man in town.
Dad, your Christmas bell, you didn't forget?
Forget? Here, honey, here's your bell.
Darling, what's this on the table here? What's this book?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Well, look, there's something written in it.
Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thank you for the wings. Love, Clarence.
Clarence?
Yep, he's an old friend of mine.
Dad,
Mrs. Welch says that every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right, Zuzu, that's right. Attaboy, Clarence, attaboy. Happy landings.
It's a wonderful life, so long as we have friends, family, and hope. From all of us here at Calaveras Advanced Drama, we wish you a happy and healthy holiday season. Thank you for joining us, and good night.